morning! So guys, about 2 months ago, we went to Bosnia and Herzegovina. Why, you ask? Well, because you guys sent us there.
And while we're in Sarajevo, we got a DM asking, are you guys in Bosnia? And of course we were like, yeah, why? And they respond, I knew that was the guy that ate the...
Wow!
Not exactly what I thought I'd be known for, and I don't think I make my mother proud either.
So we ended up meeting with these two foreigners living in Sarajevo, Lynea, who's American, and Alp, who is Turkish. They took us to many places in Bosnia and Herzegovina, like Mostar, where the famous rebuilt Ottoman old bridge stands, and where some risk takers love to jump off of. Now, we also visited Pocitelj, which is the historical town from the late 14th century. Then we got to the town of Blagaj, that is known for its dervish houses. And we also visited the wonderful bridge of Lynea and Alp, which was destroyed to defeat the enemy during World War II. And all it cost was a tortilla.
So it was truly a blessing meeting these two. And pay no mind to the luggage, we're actually moving to our pet sitting house today. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss those videos when it comes up for our Romanian series. But now, of course, there was a question I had to ask. A Turkish man and an American woman, what the hell are they doing in Bosnia and Herzegovina?
Well, I initially came here because of my family. My dad is in the military, so we moved here back 9 years ago, and I chose to stay here because I like the country.
Yeah, I came to Bosnia 3 years ago. Yeah, back in 2018. I came as a tourist visiting my friend. Shout out to Dinka. And then was not planning on staying initially, but then I met a boy.
Handsome.
This guy, yeah, handsome boy. And yeah, decided to move here a year and a half ago fully. So I've been here for a while now.
The most difficult thing would be if you wanted to work here or live here through working, would be the paperwork, because to Turkish people, you would really compare Bosnia to like the 70s or 80s of Turkey, where things are really done by like big notebooks, stamps, signatures, and like no electronics, right? So to be a resident, I own a company, it's really tough.
As soon as you've finished it for this year, like 1 month goes by that you can like relax, and then all of a sudden you have to start gathering the paper again for the next year, because there's just this long list, and each thing takes, and not to mention once you give it to like the foreigns department or whatever, it's in their hands, they'll do it whenever they feel like it. You don't know how long it could take. It could take, well, you know it's gonna take at least a couple months. Let's be real, but.
Bureaucracy is a common issue around the world. I have dealt with immigration officers in my country and the US, and believe me when I tell you, it has never been a good experience. And it's even worse when you're doing the old school kind of paperwork and not the electronic ways. Now, this is not the only difficulty of living in a foreign country.
The language, it's really hard to learn. Granted, I could try a lot harder, that's true. But because of that like difficulty, at least for me, to learn, it really like halts your like ability to find a job, because first of all, it's hard to find a job in general. You can talk to anybody here who are citizens and they can't find a job, which is horrible. So as a foreigner coming, you know, and you don't speak the language, you really like, I don't know, I looked for a long time, nothing came up. So it's hard. If you want to move here, like you have to come up with another way to make money. or get really lucky and speak the language.
Or have a handsome Turkish boyfriend.
Yeah, exactly.
Unfortunately, due to the scars of wars, Bosnia and Herzegovina is one of the poorest countries in Europe. However, their percentage economic growth is higher than some of the neighboring countries. Their minimum wage is about $312 US, while their average wage is about $565 a month. Now, my question is, would you be able to live in the country that you're watching us from with that salary, $565 US a month? Let us know in the comments.
Well, being a Turk, right, like I can't really complain about a cultural shock. I mean, I think it's vice versa, Bosnians having the cultural shock going to Turkey.
What is this Turkish man doing here?
Yeah.
He's being handsome.
Thank you. Well, the thing is, people here like to stare a lot, I think. And like, you know, having a little darker skin, darker hair here, being a little different, you really get stares. And like, everybody stares, right? You look at each other in somewhere like two, like people. But like here, they don't like, it's not a secret. They just look at you, like, right? And you're like, do I have something on my face? Like, yeah, that would be it, actually.
Now, getting stares is something that I'm quite used to. I've gotten it in South Europe, I've gotten it in the Balkan areas when we travel there. And in the US, it might be disrespectful, but what I found is that it's more curiosity in these other countries. They just want to know more about me, where I come from, what's my story. And in Bosnia and Herzegovina, they have 3 different ethnic groups. And out of those ethnic groups, you'll rarely find someone that has a darker skin tone. So stares will happen.
Well, what I would like to give as an advice is, if you want to establish like a company here, like some sort, there's really big amount of things you can open. Like I personally, that's why I stayed here, right? I saw an opportunity and that's what I did. And like, there's so much more to discover here. Like, there's so much to give here. So my advice is, if you want to come here to open a company, you really can. You can have. But if you want to work in a company, it's a little hard because the unemployment rate is quite high.
My advice is meet a boy. No, I'm kidding. But
A handsome Turkish
yeah,
boy.
yeah, exactly. Really, for me, what's been the most helpful, so I think it'd be helpful for other people, is you need lots of help, and you really need to find people that are willing to help you with the paperwork, with the language. Sometimes things, like I said, at the grocery store or the doctor, like, you might need somebody there to like help you, and if you don't have anyone, it could be really hard and it can be really lonely really quick. So I'm really lucky because I had Alp, and I have a couple friends that are Bosnian who have really like helped me a lot with the transition. So yeah, trying to find a support system here of like locals or people like us who've been through it, who could like show you the way, because yeah, it's hard on your own. I think it'd be really hard.
Now, learning a second language is not easy, trust me. I'm still working on my Turkish, but I'm gonna get it, don't you worry. By the time we get back there, I got this.
What happened with Spanish?
I got this, don't you worry. But it is one of the biggest ways that you can immerse yourself into the culture and not feel like an outsider, even though you're a foreigner. So big shout out to Lynea and Alp for helping us with this video, and
Mama